I'm honestly kind of at a loss for words here. I feel like for the Vancouver Canucks in 2022-2023, we haven't seen too much of this particular game. A low-scoring game where the Canucks end up winning in regulation, and they only have one goal against. Earlier on in the season, the trend was the Canucks would blow multi-goal leads again and again. Later on, after the firing, the entire coaching change, etc., you had games where the Canucks were getting involved. They were scoring a lot of goals. They'd maybe come back and win in overtime, 5-4 or 6-5 or something like that. The team had a whole bunch of goals scored for and against throughout the season. So seeing a game like this, where they beat the Dallas Stars 3-1 in regulation and they look pretty good doing it, I'm kind of like, okay, what do we talk about? I mean, there weren't too many spectacular game-breaking, game-stopping saves that were made, and the goals that were scored, there were only 4. If we spend a minute per goal, that's only 4 minutes. That's still a whole bunch of other stuff we have to talk about to fill out the time. But either way, the Vancouver Canucks have defeated Dallas 3-1 in Dallas, which is really intriguing because the Canucks have not lost to the Stars in, I believe it's 4 years or whatever it was. The Canucks have a pretty good series against Dallas, and they swept the season series this season against that team. They won in overtime earlier in the year, and then they had themselves the multi-goal win a few weeks ago. But an interesting thing to note about this game for Dallas was that the Minnesota Wild won their game against the Chicago Blackhawks earlier today. With Minnesota winning, they took over the first overall spot in the Central Division, meaning that the Dallas Stars needed the 2 points to put themselves back at the top of the division. The reason they wouldn't want to be second is because, look, the third overall team in the Central is Colorado, and you're probably wanting to face off against the wildcard team rather than the Colorado Avalanche reigning Stanley Cup champions. Either way, though, the Dallas Stars are not able to convert. They're not able to take the 2 points against Vancouver. They honestly get shut down pretty nicely, and the game, to be fair, isn't really one that I found too exciting. I was just kind of watching, having it on in the background, seeing what happened, seeing the plays, seeing the saves made once in a while, seeing the plays made once in a while, seeing the Canucks not able to score in a 5-on-3-man advantage. But if you just go over the goals and you see what happened in this game, it was pretty alright. First goal of the game scored by Ryan Suter, a very nice bank pass from Tyler Seguin behind the Canucks goal. He goes off the boards right to Suter, who one-times it on goal, and this beats everybody. It goes top cheese, far side, past Thatcher Demko's glove, and it's 1-0 Dallas. Suter only has 3 goals on the year. That was his third, but he had an absolute cannon. Pretty interesting to see him have so few goals, despite the fact that he can shoot the puck like that. Give it 7 minutes, though, and the Canucks, while short-handed, end up getting on the board with yet another short-handed goal. They have themselves the most short-handed markers in the NHL this season, which is wild considering their penalty kill technically is really bad. Now, they actually have been a lot better as of late. They were 4 for 4 in this game against Dallas, but because their PK was so bad under Boudreau, just the overall record of still being down there at the bottom, it still persists, but it doesn't matter anymore since they're scoring as much on their PK than they are on their power play. So Rick Tocchet, man, he's done a pretty good job with this team and just getting them to work a little bit more. It's Dakota Joshua who gets a cross-crease pass from Niels Åman, and Joshua has some time and space on the Dallas Stars goaltender Matt Murray, who coincidentally is named the same Matt Murray as the other guy, the Brock Boeser Pittsburgh guy who is now in Toronto. But this is not the same Matt Murray, it's another one. He's a brand new goalie in the NHL. Dakota Joshua beats him. He comes right in and snipes it right by on the fast break, making it 1-1 on the short-handed goal. You then had the final 2 goals scored of the game in the second period. First one was scored by Brock Boeser, a beautiful centering feed from JT Miller, who throws it across, and Boeser wastes no time just chucking it on goal, beating Matt Murray, making it 2-1 Vancouver. Boeser has his 14th goal on the season. You then had yourselves yet another play a few minutes later, where Elias Pettersson throws it over to Andrei Kuzmenko on a very beautiful feed, but Kuzmenko, instead of shooting it, decides to hold back a little bit, take some time with the puck, and throw it back across to Jack Rathbone, who streaks right in, one times it by, and he makes it 3-1. That's his first game since November, and he scores a goal right away, so good on Jack Rathbone for getting himself on the board once more. Of course, props to Petey and Kuzmenko for the assist. It's kind of funny because you could see on that particular goal, all the Dallas guys were crowding around Petey, crowding around Kuzmenko, because Kuzmenko's got 35 goals in the season. Pedersen is on pace for 100 points. So nobody ended up picking up on Jack Rathbone as the trailer. He gets the one-time shot on, and it beats Matt Murray. That is the final goal of the game. There's nothing else scored here. There are some pretty good saves made by Thatcher Demko, particularly in the first and the third periods. There was a 5-on-3 power play chance the Canucks had, wherein they weren't able to capitalize. Unfortunately, I'm going to go out there and call out Brock Boeser on this one, because that guy had like 3 really great opportunities to give the Canucks a 4-1 lead. He just was not able to capitalize. There was a play where they found him out in front by himself and he roofed it over the goal. There were 2 more plays where he received a cross-crease pass and was not able to bury it backdoor on the redirect. Brock Boeser, unfortunately, was not in on that power play, but he did score a regular goal in 5-on-5 play, so I can't get too ticked off at the guy. And plus, the Canucks ended up winning and looking pretty good defensively in the process, too. There's not really much else I could go out there and say about this game, to be honest. I mean, we could talk about the stats. Shots on goal were 26-24 for Dallas, so Thatcher Demko only allowing 1 goal on 25 shots, or 26 shots, excuse me. 9.62 save percentage, that's pretty good. Matt Murray, on the other hand, 21 saves on 24 total shots and 8.75 save percentage. And other than that, there isn't really anything else I feel like is worth talking about. Here, let's go over to Money Puck and take a look at the deserve to win-o-meter. What do the advanced analytics say to this hockey game here? And it says here that Vancouver had a 55.8% chance to win this game versus Dallas based off of the expected goals and everything. And I'm looking at the chart right here, the expected goals in all situations, and yeah, the Dallas Stars didn't really have much. So, unfortunate as it is for a team that was clawing to get their first overall spot in the Central Division back, they weren't able to get it done against Vancouver, and the Canucks end up going to Chicago tomorrow with a pretty good win in their back pocket. This is the endgame, folks. This is it. With the Canucks winning more games, they are putting themselves further and further out of that Connor Bedard first overall lottery race, because only a certain amount of teams actually have the opportunity to draft first overall, and with Vancouver's recent winning streak, it appears that they're pricing themselves out of that territory, as unfortunate as it may be. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as to the Canucks and the Dallas Stars game. They won 3-1. Pretty low event game comparative to a lot of the other games we have seen, but they still come out on top. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.